Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4, once again. It feels like I've said that a lot recently, but for good reason. So we're going to be testing out the Supermoto bikes, because we haven't even tried them yet on this game somehow. So we're going to do a 20-lap race here in Tsukuba. I don't know how to pronounce this track, so I do apologise. But this is going to be full helmet cam gameplay. And I'd say I recorded this last night and had an absolute blast. I was actually quite tense in the latter stages as I absolutely destroyed this ride here, totally by mistake. I was getting used to the brakes again. And of course the helmet cam, which I made mention to my review video, is just bloody brilliant in Ride 4. So I'm having an absolute blast playing this in helmet cam. I'm using the Husqvarna, one of my favourite bikes, or especially one of my favourite MXGP bikes. I always used to go for the Husqvarna. I'm not sure why, but I really like it. I think it's got great cornering ability. But here with the Supermotos, I've got the Bridgestone tyres added to the race on this one. I think I just ran with the soft tyre. Unfortunately, you can't see the tyre wear in the bottom right-hand corner. I wanted to remove that so as a bit of an experience for myself, as we trying around the outside there, as we beautifully nail that. And this final corner, turn 10, is absolutely brilliant for these Supermoto bikes. You can really get a good feel for the lean angle and the sense of speed you can get coming out of the corners. Honestly, I had such a great time playing with the Supermotos. Usually I don't tend to bother with them. The feeling of difference, as when I started off, I improved so much towards the end of the race because of just the learning curve that comes with all these motorbikes in Ride 4. But as you can see, from 12th place in the grid, we have moved up by 3 places. It's not dramatic, but we're getting there as we chase down Phoenix. I love this section of the track as well. You try and aim for the rumble strip on the right hand side, as before you turn it and flick it left. You can pretty much get that right every time. We have a bit of an incident there later on, which you will see. It's coming out of turn 9. It's not the best track for Supermoto. It is and it isn't. This long straight makes the bike over rev. I mean, like, it's absolutely revving the balls off it at this point. And then trying to get turn 10 right as well. A little bit of a flick there. We're going full tuck in from leaving the corner there. As you can see, it's going to get pretty busy ahead of us here. It's 3 or 4 riders abreast. And we're going to brake extremely late to try and chase down Mariko Awazora. You know, I do my best to pronounce some of these foreign names, and I think I butcher them every time, but at least I give them a try. So we're flicking it right for turn 5, and we're going to aim for the rumble strip on the left, and then flick it left for turn 6. And that time we did really, really well there. We've managed to get on the back of Phoenix Trujillo. We're going to make a little bit of contact there, wheel to wheel, as we then bump him out wide. So as you can see, I'm running the Husqvarna 450. You will not see some of the modifications I've made in this couple of laps, but later on I'll show you what the bike looks like. I made a few changes to the chain. I think I made a minor adjustment to the stock exhaust, but I didn't really make any racing modifications. I wanted to run more or less stock with just a few minor changes. So a bit of a mistake there in turn 10. We're going to bop onto the green. Thankfully no penalty time was awarded, unlike that bullshit one we had the other day in the Nürburgring GP. As you can see, the guys ahead of us, Karen Jones, South African, and the Japanese rider. I think there's another Japanese rider in there. It's hard to see from where I am, but it gets a bit scrappy. It certainly gets interesting. Well, the Supermoto bikes, as I mentioned, a hell of a lot of fun. I had such a great time playing on these bikes. I only did like a couple of races, so I did this race and maybe 1 or 2 more. But I had a ton of fun. I'm really impressed with all the bikes in this game. Usually, as I think I mentioned in my review, that I don't usually play with the nakeds very often. But I've got a video coming out tomorrow, or it might be the day after, I'm not sure yet. And I use the full race distance, well, 12 laps I think it is, on board one of the nakeds. And tell you what, I had a blast using the naked bike. I really, really enjoyed that. So let me know in the comment section down below actually if you would prefer helmet cam gameplay or if you would prefer the third person view or just a mixture of them all. To be honest with you, I don't mind using either. I would probably say I'm a little bit quicker with a third-person camera. I think everyone would be. As I mentioned in the review, and as I'll mention again here, the helmet cam is absolutely brilliant. It's super accurate, and you generally have a good feel for the corners, the braking zones, and when you're even tucking in. On one of the tracks I did yesterday, I had my Astro A50s on, and the sound of the walls and objects on the side of the track sounded phenomenal as you whiz past them. I think it was on the Northwest track. I'm not a fan of those road tracks, but it did sound pretty incredible, to be fair. I had a blast. Because I just completed the Bridgestone Championship yesterday, the little rider invitational thing. I really enjoyed that. It was a nice touch. I'm hoping to build my affinity up with Yamaha, so I can do the Yamaha Invitational next. If you want to see those kind of videos, let me know down in the comment section below. I know I have to do a settings video sooner or later, which I will do sooner, but I don't really manipulate the settings too much. But I'm happy to try and buy a couple of bikes and then we'll customise them together, or I'll customise them and see what you think, but it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. How well can we overtake on the Supermoto bike? Well, you're about to find out, because I put in a pretty decent lap here. It's 4/10 quicker than the previous lap. And now it was time to rag the bollocks off this Supermoto and get past them. Honestly, this part, with the helmet cam, headphones on, it was super immersive. Bit of collision there. It's getting a bit busy already. Even the few times riders were diving up between me or up on the side of me or around the outside and you had to try and lift up or pull off, it was so good. I mean, look how busy it's getting right now. Look, we try and get 2 in 1. It's a magnificent move. And then we have Donny Boer ahead of us. This guy was impervious. Well, actually, it's Danny, isn't it? So, I'm guessing could have been a girl, could have been a man. The South African, we'll say. One hell of a battle, let me tell you. Well, that moment in itself with Yoko Fujikawa and I think it was another Japanese rider, it's absolutely brilliant. But I really got into it now. The tyres really heated up and I'm learning all the time of how to brake with the Supermoto. And it's not like your average bike, you have to try and slide it in. I mean, with the aid of you placing your foot out, you will balance the bike into the corner. And Ride 4 does a fantastic job of nailing that sensation of leaning but steadily and sturdy. So still in pursuit of the South African in 3rd place, and Sasaki ahead, the Japanese rider, was still trying to pursue them. But if we get into the slipstream here behind Danny, we should theoretically get past. And we do. Bit of a wobble there on the bike as well, I don't know if you noticed that. Handlebars shaking. We managed to get him on the inside. And now the challenge for 2nd place is on. I knew at this point we were quicker than him by just a bit, but still, it was game on. And turn 1 in that particular instance was a perfect example how to brake on the Supermoto. Go all in and just slide it straight in. We were 2/10 quicker just because of sliding that in and just positioning the bike straight for the apex. That was my best turn in like the entire duration of this race, and I even smiled when I went through that. And even then on this lap, the tyres were so warm and I was just really enjoying it. The weight of the bike, everything just felt great. I was super impressed. Now, a bit of an incident here because I thought I was going to go the inside and he was going to go wide, but then he picked the bike up and then still stayed in the middle. So I just ended up punting him straight out of the way. It wasn't what I wanted to do, I swear, but that's racing, and I guess rubbing is racing. Race direction in the comment section down below. Tell me if that should have been allowed, or should I have had a penalty handed to me at the end of the race? Now I have skipped it across by about 5 laps because the guy in 1st place, Mr. Nakano, the Japanese rider, was absolutely impervious. There was 0 chance of catching him up. He was absolutely insane. He was about 6 seconds ahead of me. And I'm pretty good at this game, don't get me wrong, but I don't know whether he had a modified bike or something, but he was not on the same level as the rest of us. It took me a good 5-6 laps of constantly pushing as hard as possible, and I just couldn't do it. I just could not chase him. And because I've burnt my tyres up at this point, the guys behind, Japanese rider behind, South African and another Japanese rider are all challenging me now for 2nd place. So it's to the death. It's defend like mad. Defend like Rossi did in Jerez against Maverick Vinales as we get contact there as he goes straight off the track. Potentially going to lose second place in a moment if we're not careful. Bit of a wheelie there coming out of turn 7. And the Husqvarna, it wheelies. It definitely wheelies. These Supermoto bikes like to give it a good old punt. They like to chuck the front up as we lose second to Danny. It's the South African again. We go around the outside. Beautifully done. Well, he should have the straight speed on the... I'm saying he, but we still don't know if it's a man or a woman. The South African rider. As Danny is up on the inside again, forcing me to lift the bike up, going round to the outside. See, I told you it was going to get interesting, and it definitely did. At this point, though, the only difference I did find is MotoGP 20, when you move the analog stick and you can see around the bike pretty nicely, you can't see very much in the first-person camera. Usually, like on MotoGP 20, as I just mentioned, you can manipulate the camera so you can see around you as if you were looking. But unfortunately, I couldn't really do it. So I was very tentative to see who was around me and who wasn't. So skipping ahead a lap, still behind Danny Bauer, the South African. Still trying to do everything we can. Don't know what the tyre wear is. It could be good, it could be bad. It feels okay. It feels like I did a decent job. I mean, we still managed to get a good drive there, but we have to contend with the Hungarian in a minute. Jakob Renato is approaching as we go around the outside of the South African. Will that work? Are we lining him up for a move in turn 1? Tell you what, we don't need it. Our tyre wear is still pretty good. We've blasted through on the finish line. 2 laps remaining. Lap 19 of 20. The penultimate lap. What can we do here? Can we defend against the Hungarian who's now in 3rd place, Jakob Renato? Or is it going to be Gianni Boer again, the South African? I guess we will soon find out. It's defend like mad. As Nakano is ahead by a whopping 16 seconds. That's what I'm saying, this guy was just unbelievable. I've never played the CPU where that's happened. I've always been able to catch them up, but this time, no. Certainly wasn't. And he didn't fancy it. As Jakob Renato makes a move up on the inside. That one genuinely made me jump when I was playing this. He just chucked it straight up on the inside. Actually, we've lost the South African now, come to mention it. And the Japanese rider is now behind. He's going to try and line up Renato here. The same move. I'm going to go around the outside to pick the bike up slightly. Oh, beautifully done. That is how you get past into the final corner. As Jakob is still there. He's still pushing. And now it's getting tense. We've got to find a way. I've just lost 3rd place temporarily, but he's around here somewhere. Be careful to run it wide here. As someone dives up on the inside. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. We're going to have to fight back here. We're off the podium at this point. How are we going to get back on the podium? I'm making a lunge up on the inside. Could be a bit risky, that one. But Jakob Renato is ahead. But for how much longer can we chase him down towards the final straight? I think I stopped to get a screenshot in a minute, so I apologise if that stops. I can soon edit it down. But Jakob Renato in our sights. Can we do him in the final corner? Round the outside, up on the inside. We've got to figure it out. Conjure something up. We're lining him up. We did this last time in the previous lap. Can we get him now? Around the outside. Lift it up in the right moment. Oh, we've done him. We've got him. As the fans go wild. We did it. 2nd place. I mean, that is pretty much a win in my book. But what do you think about this move here? Should Race Direction be looking at that to say, come on me, get a grip. You can't be doing that. And of course the final corner. Utterly beautiful. I was screaming at this point. Well, internally, because I was recording this pretty late. DrAce, round the outside. You're going to see how close this is in a minute. Finishing line coming up now. We pinch it. I mean, look how close that is. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. I've got a lot more Ride 4 content coming soon, so make sure you don't miss anything out, but hit the notification bell, and I will see you next time. Ciao for now.